Welcome back. Episode
4.
I almost forgot what episode
Everything
it was.
for Weez.
Big 4, yes.
Big fours.
Everything.
This is LB.
I'm Samantha.
This is Jess, your wellness bestie.
And we're so happy to be back.
We are. I'm so happy.
I'm so happy.
We barely made it.
We barely.
Ooh, the retrograde. Honestly,
Okay. I
barely made it.
It's still going.
It's
honestly,
still going. I might not make
I'm
it.
hanging on by a thread until, May 19th, I think, or something like this.
Yeah, it's really true what they say, though. Between communication, having to pause during this time period.
But this retrograde has retrograded like no other retrograde has retrograded before. Is it me?
No, it's not. I was
Since day one, it's been like, woof, it like hit me in the face like the first
the
day.
outreach, the random people. I was speaking to LB and I was like, yo, this retrograde is actually what it's doing. And what I feel like it's a common thing that's happening is that it's exposing some of like people's past feelings and emotions about things that have been happening in their life and that they've been suppressing. And this retrograde is making you face that shadow.
Mm-hmm. Without even like realizing, I think. Like you have no warning though, no preparation. It's like, oh, okay, we're here.
I didn't even know I was upset about this.
No, but also the communication piece, like in the last week, I've had 2 people hit me up from 2021.
No.
Like almost to the
Wasn't
day.
it like 2017?
No,
oh,
2021. 2 different people. Have not spoken to them since 2021. Hey, and I'm like, and I look at the thread because I don't delete anything.
She
ever.
doesn't.
I really don't. And I look at the thread and I'm like, 2021. The one dude was like, it hasn't been that long, and I screenshot it.
2021.
2021.
No,
In COVID years, that's like a decade.
Well, that's literally what he said. He was like, I think COVID just like messed up our.
He's delusional.
2 years is a long time.
He was like, it hasn't been that long, and I sent it to him, and I was like, I just want to know what happened on April 24th, 2023, that you decided that today was the day that you needed to send me a text. Like, I'm just confused. But anyways.
What was it? Why did he send
Hey, beautiful, how have you been?
That was it? I mean.
And the other one was just, hey. And I was like, hey.
Look, hay is for horses. That's what I'm telling people now.
But I was it was crazy because definitely people, like, as I've said before, spin the block, but 2021 is nuts. Like, to text somebody after 2021 is crazy.
I had the 4 guys text me in one day, like 4 ex-partners, that was the wildest, because y'all all listen to the podcast at the same time.
Okay.
Or, because I don't know what happened. I was over here screaming, I'm single, and my phone is dry, and then on the same day, 4. I had one guy looking up the other guy's phone number. That's how crazy it was.
Yeah,
I was like,
that is nuts.
I'm like, what? By the way, if you don't know somebody's phone number, you can look it up in Cash App. I learned that from the youngins.
The aunties got the.
Look it up in Cash App. Wow. My other boyfriend was like, oh, it's this. I said, oh, I know who that is. I sure do.
My other boyfriend?
I actually don't have any boyfriends, but I thought that was 4 of them in the same day. I was like, that's wild.
That's what happens when the last episode you said you were ready to ride.
I did. Yeah, I also said I was rebuking situationships. I don't know. I said I was rebuking situationships, and then 4 came and contacted me. I was like,
I feel like this retrograde hasn't hit me in that way. I've been getting some like X-rated text messages though.
Oh, so down in the DMs is going to be spicy.
So, not the DMs, the text messages.
This is right in the inbox.
This is. I mean,
directly to the cell phone.
It's very like, oh my God. Wow. But yeah, no, but regardless, it's still surfacing what it needs to surface. Don't get me wrong. We're still going through the motions here, but.
I'm a little scared. I just hope the rest of this time is
No, it's going to be amazing.
I've already had enough upheaval for the last week and a half.
Jesus.
I would really like the rest of retrograde to just be kind to me.
Speaking of retrograde period, there was some travel here. We want to hear about it.
Oh, yeah. I guess I don't really have a ton of exciting things to say about Sedona. I'm sorry. It was beautiful.
Okay.
It was
like
retreat.
What did
I guess that's what I mean. Like the retreat wasn't like, I don't know. I guess
Sam went on a yoga retreat. I don't know if we mentioned it in the previous podcast.
Yeah, I think we did.
Last
yeah.
week,
So it was with the studio that I practice with in Nashville. And it was in Sedona. I spent a few days in Scottsdale beforehand, and then
Was that your first time in Arizona?
It was.
What did you think of Arizona?
It's beautiful. Honestly, if they didn't have state income taxes, I might consider moving there.
Oh, I loved Arizona.
It's beautiful. The weather is just phenomenal.
Chef's kiss.
But it was also interesting because the climate is different. So the retreat was 2 hours away from Scottsdale, and the climate is completely different. Like in Scottsdale and in Phoenix, you're in the desert, but then 2 hours away, like to me, Arizona was all desert, but it's not. There's like pine trees that grow there. Like, yeah, like there's like greenery and like grass, and like it's not the same desert climate. So yeah, I mean, there was 2 yoga classes a day, 1 meditation in the day, every single day. So sort of like 3 activities that they planned.
How long were the meditations?
That was, I laugh because like it's up to the teachers every single time. And like this particular teacher who was doing the meditation, she's like extra loosey-goosey. Like she doesn't stick to like any sort of like framework of anything. She's like, okay, we're gonna meditate for as long as I feel like meditating. You're like,
all right, ma'am, am I on your journey?
On
like,
your time?
Yeah, like it's weird. She's like, I don't know what we've been doing or how long we've been here, but you're welcome. I'm like, I'm actually stressed. My stomach has been screaming for the last hour, but whatever. We did some chanting. That was interesting. I've never chanted. It always felt a little like, y'all know where I'm going.
Yeah.
It didn't, but it was all the chanting is like, I don't know. Apparently, it's something with like Eastern medicine, scientific. It's supposed to like raise your vibrations
and open up certain chakras. I feel like
yeah,
there's different
it's for certain chakras, and so we learned some chanting. We did some chanting, but really, I went there to take a break. And I did not take a break. I worked my whole vacation, my whole retreat. So, and I went there. They asked everybody when you first got there, like, why is everyone here? And I'm like, I'm here to take a break from work. And then I had my laptop.
Unplug, but I'm just gonna plug in here.
I had literally, I'm like in meditation with my, like, it wasn't that bad,
Sam,
but I worked the entire time.
You weren't supposed to be working.
I know. I did have a choice and I didn't. But it's like, when you work for yourself, somebody approached me, 2 weeks before this vacation, the most inopportune time with like,
Fair.
And because it's a project, because it's shorter term, because they need it more urgently, I can charge more. And so,
money
it's like,
talk, so talk more.
Yeah, talk to me nice. Like they were talking nice.
Money, Sam.
Like
one thing about Sam, she's gonna get her coin.
So I was working, and so yeah, I guess I definitely there was like there were these different vortexes that we like went to. Like there's a lot of different like vortexes in Arizona. There's supposed to like this like healing energy. Again, I can't say that
like
I
caves kind of thing.
No, it's not spiritual.
They're just like mountains.
I've never heard
portals.
of that before.
Portals.
Yeah, but
it's
there's
portals.
like these different vortexes, and they actually have like masculine and feminine energy, which I didn't know any of that was a thing until I got there. But we actually went to 2 vortexes. So we went to, one was a masculine vortex and one was more of a feminine vortex, and we saw both like on a hike, which was really cool.
Did you feel any
what was your experience?
Did you like catch a...
No, that's what I mean. Like I feel like I
look at us. We're like
come back with something
like
so profound.
And Sam's like, well, the beach was nice, the water was cool.
Like I hiked, the weather was beautiful. I got a nice tan. Like I did some yoga.
Still nice to have a change of scenery. I'm sure. Like even just to like get away, even though you had to work, it was somewhere different. Weather was nice.
Change in environment.
My lesson or something would just be that like I still have boundaries with work, work boundaries that I like clearly struggle with.
Was looking a little porous, but
yeah.
Shout out to you for taking the trip.
Thank you.
Because like I think any kind of like solo getaways, I think even though you may have not felt something in that moment during the meditation, you never know like the lingering effects.
Yeah.
And so who knows, girl?
Yeah, no, I think yoga and meditation keep me grounded. And that's the other thing is like, I'm not doing any of that because it's so easy. And I could almost see myself in that situation, like not being at a retreat right at home where it's so easy to skip yoga and skip meditation. And like, I didn't because I was there for those things. And it was, what I
did more
came.
of that than
So like I prioritized doing that, but I could see how easy it is for me to just be like, no, I'm not doing that today because, like I'm too busy or whatever. Because it was even happening there. I was like, oh, I'm going to skip yoga today while I go because I got some work to do. So it was a good reminder that like those things help keep me grounded and balanced. And like that's why I do them. And it's easy to overlook, but I need those things too. I'll say the other thing is I actually met a lot. And I think this is something I think is true for any circumstance or any situation. I made a lot of really good connections like in Nashville because everybody was from Nashville. So like,
you're kind of like not forced together, but you're kind of like
you're
exposed to
together.
like, and you're spending time together, you're sharing space together, so you naturally.
Yeah, these people that I would have never connected with otherwise.
In any other way. Yeah.
And like one girl, I was chatting with, she's an editor. I do PR, right? And she's connecting me with like this other group of like media people that don't just, you know, because I know the people that do what I do in Nashville and in Buffalo, but like a whole different group of like media people. Yeah, like awesome. Networking events. She's already connected me to like 2 different people. So yeah, I think the connections that I made were really powerful that weekend.
That's awesome.
That is dope.
Yeah.
While Sam was reaching her highest potential, me and Jessica were roaming around Washington, D.C.
Look, someone's got to bring the hot and hot girls.
We definitely.
Listen, okay.
It was a beautiful weekend.
It was a beautiful weekend.
I was like, where's the butt? Where's the butt coming?
No, we did a shift outside. We worked 8 hours. Working the streets of Washington. Well, not, oh God, that's
okay.
You know, we didn't make any money. We didn't make any.
Not like that, people.
Hold on.
Pause.
Working the streets of DC is crazy. Okay, that sounds crazy.
It sounds crazy.
Y'all get what I mean, though.
That's a little
making it happen.
Literally, the week before, we were praising Jesus. LB came into town for Easter weekend.
Yes,
the week after, so that was beautiful. And the following week, we're celebrating the launch of HHG.
That's what it was.
And that was really it. The reason why we were outside, people, is we were celebrating.
Gotta celebrate.
Our launch.
We did.
And let me tell you, it was a fabulous weekend.
What are the highlights? I need to know I wasn't there, so personally, I need the what's the tea from the weekend? What's the recap?
The recap really well.
How do you spend 8 hours in DC? Like, whoa.
Oh wow, very
outside.
easily. Well, it starts with a day party because one thing about DC is like they're gonna have a day party. So it started at Rose Bar because I was sober walking into Rose. I had not had a sip of alcohol. This was about 7 p.m.
No, we popped the champagne. Yes,
we did. Okay. I thought that was the
memories still coming back.
That's when
that was the live though. The live was on Thursday. This was on Saturday.
Okay. Fast forward.
See what I mean? All the days were running together because we did go out Thursday. Thursday was when we did the live.
Yes.
We did the live. So thank you everyone who joined the live.
Oh
we're going to get to the launch in a second. But we did the live on Thursday and then we did go out Thursday.
Yes.
And we
went out Thursday.
Yeah, that day was fine. But Saturday, yes, we walked. Honestly, those of you that are from Buffalo, Rose Bar is like Encore. It's like the Encore back in the days when you sorry, OJ's sitting over here and I didn't know he was here.
I didn't realize that either.
I was like, I thought it was somebody else. But Rose Bar is like Encore. So like when you walk in there, you might walk in like one person, but you're gonna walk out like a different person. And this is in the span of like
no, seriously.
3 hours maybe.
Because you're like at Encore. All right, so Encore, you're standing on wooden stacks. Yes. What was it? Crates.
They were like they were like wooden like
benches.
Couches,
right.
I don't know. With
Rose Bar,
no cushions,
you're standing on something, but you're in the outdoor kind of patio. Yeah. And everyone is just trying to show their hand.
The lights are down. Like it's 7:00, but it feels like it's 11. So like it just creates this like very intimate. Like the outside where you are is like very small. I mean, you know, Sam, with where we went for my birthday.
It's mixy.
It's very mixy. So we happened to see a couple of our friends that were there. Like we just went there just kind of on a GP with our friend Dom, and 2 of our other friends that we hadn't seen since my birthday were also in the section next to us.
Wow.
And that was really where
that was it.
The night commenced.
Yeah.
Because
the tequila did what the tequila was talking.
The tequila was tequilaing. We were between 2 different tables. And so when we left Rose Bar, I thought it was 4 a.m., but it was actually only like 9:45.
That's perfect, though, because then you can get a meal, go
that's
home
what
and
happened.
Go to bed.
We did. We went and we ate.
But you didn't go home and go to bed.
No. We should have.
No, this is where it takes a turn. You know, Dom, we blame Dom's mom.
No, we went to La Vie, which is a really nice
restaurant.
like Mediterranean restaurant at the wharf. So we went to La Vie and ate. And then
we ended up going to the club.
To St. Eve's.
Yes.
St. Eve's.
Which things calmed down there.
They did.
We didn't really drink there. We're not club
we
folks.
We were on when I tell you, but we were still out until, we didn't get home until probably 4 a.m.
Jesus.
So yeah, it was a shift. But it was a great time.
Love it.
Someone's got to put the hot and hot girls. It hasn't been me.
No, we were
having our way.
Yep. We love it.
That's our summer vibe for all 2020.
You know what? I realized we didn't pick. Are we supposed to? Should we pick?
Yes, we just kind of want to do a recap. So I think we're gonna hop into our hot seat.
Yeah.
Who's pulling today?
I can pull. And I feel like this time around we're going to do different. I want both of you guys to answer.
And you?
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, you got to answer too. You can't. We're just on the hot seat.
And you.
Ma'am. Hello.
All right, just
I'm
casually
excited.
shuffling
Last time
the
I was
deck.
scared, but I think today.
You were
I
scared.
wanted to bring. I actually have
I'm
cards
excited.
that are like supposed to be like energetic cards, but like they're for self-care, and it's I don't know. So I might bring them next time. It's like a nice
Young
compliment.
Miami's deck didn't come in?
It didn't, but look, Carisha Please is coming, y'all. Y'all just wait for Carisha Please. I just got the shipping notification today. I can't wait.
I don't know. I'm scared. That scares me.
Okay.
This one I'm good with, but Carisha Please, I'm like,
I
oh
actually saw some of these cards. I can't even read some of them. Like, I'm just gonna be like,
I know.
I
My
can't
mom
even
listens
read
to
some
this,
of
and
these.
my mom's
Like,
gonna be like, Alyssa, what are
I'm gonna be
these?
passing cards. Like, we can't. But I'm excited. She'll be in next time.
Ooh. Okay. I like this one. Question. What am I proudest of myself for saying no to recently? Who wants to go first? What am I proudest of myself for saying no to recently?
Would you like to go first, LB?
Yeah, because I haven't said no. I don't want to go. I haven't said no a lot recently. I feel like I feel like I'm saying yes to everything.
I'm in a no season. I say no a lot.
What have you said no to recently?
Most recently, and we've talked about this as a group, and I might have brought it up on one of the last pods, but like, or maybe it was the live, but one of the things I'm working on this year is changing what my clients look like. So I'm really interested in having more of my own book of business instead of working with agencies. And so someone I was working with who was in an agency environment, our contract was sort of coming to a close. At the same time, I also had a few projects wrapping up. Like, it was a time and a moment where if I was vulnerable, I could have said yes to the money and the business, but it wasn't the business I wanted. So I had to say no, and not just no, but I had to say no again, because he was actually on my phone yesterday telling me still more. He still wants to work with me, and I get it, and I'm flattered that obviously, like, he sees value in partnering with me, but I also have to keep in mind what my goals are, which aren't to, be a part of anyone else's agency. It's to create my own. And so as a result of saying no to that, like, this project came in that was, double what I would have made in 2 months, Right. So it's like, that's something that I'm proud of that I said no to recently, because it didn't align with what I want for the future of SLPR
Not all
Communications.
money is good money.
Not all money is good money.
But also, and I think it's really important to also just, like, with even future sponsors, like, if it doesn't align to who we are,
yeah,
just because it's money, like, that money is gonna always flow. Abundance is in our favor at all times.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you a different question then. Since you don't want to.
Why wouldn't you?
What does self-love mean to you?
Ooh, that
What
one's
does
worse.
it
You should have
not
just
mean to you?
answered the first one.
Actually, you know what? This hits a little bit better because
Love it.
this week I just had to have a conversation with a young man. Well, he's older than me, so an older young man about.
Okay.
But I had, like, we had an exchange, and well, we met up last week. It was the first time I met him off of Hinge, which, like, we're gonna get to.
Ooh, I can't wait to do a Hinge episode.
And I have been on a Hinge strike, okay? Like, not doing it. I've had my, like, Hinge deactivated, but, every now and then.
For all the super aunties, Hinge is a dating app.
Oh, yes.
It's a dating app.
Yes, it's a dating app, which, yeah. So anyways, I had reactivated it, and he was, like, the only one out of, like, 40 that I was like, okay. And, like, we had actually.
Out of 40.
That's how you know, like, the pickings are that slim. It's like
so
abort
bad.
mission.
No, it's
Jesus.
so bad. So we were, like, chatting for longer than I would have liked, but whatever, fine. So we ended up meeting up last week, and it was fine. Like, the meetup was good. But, like, towards the end of us meeting up, he says to me, before, you have a great body, but you would look, but, like, maybe with 10 pounds, like, it would look better. Like, swear to God.
No.
What?
It gets worse. It gets worse.
Then,
What?
I was pissed.
then he's like, in your toenail polish. I like light toenail polish. I know. Listen.
Not like they look like someone's been munching on them. Like,
No, like, you have nice feet, but, like, I would prefer a different color.
It's the audacity for me.
How much money was he paying for your pedicures?
Nothing.
Oh, okay.
I'm looking at all the mics.
Jesus.
Not a thing. No money has been exchanged at this point for anything. Not even a effing coffee. Anyway, so I was like, I don't know if you guys ever seen the like Tiger Woods meme that's like.
Okay.
I was like,
you're 101.
In the moment, I was just like, I was just confused.
Me too.
Like, I just genuinely, I was like, yeah. I was like, in my head, I'm like, I don't want to gain 10 pounds. Like, actually, I worked out to like, I'm very happy with the way, well, not, I would like a bigger butt, which I'm working on. But, I mean, for the most part, like, what? You know what I mean? So I'm like.
Squats, not shots.
First, thank you. But I was like, okay. So I'm like, yeah, thanks. I don't want to gain 10 pounds though. And so I was like, it took me a couple days to like digest the information. And then I was like, I really don't like that didn't make me feel good. Mm-hmm. And so it took a few, like almost a week, because I had a busy week last week. Like I saw him and then my mom was in town for 4 days. So like, and then I was back to work. So it was just like a lot. So we hadn't really had an opportunity to kind of like debrief from like the visit. So this week I ended up sending him a voice note and I was just like, hey, I'm not really sure like what that was, but like I didn't like it and like I'm not into it. And so that was one of the first times I think that I was like, yo, I felt like I stuck up for myself. Normally I would have just like let it go, but it was like, no, like I'm proud of who I am. Like I like the way that I look. So for you to even think that you can make a comment about what I wear, how I look.
Yes.
Like, oh no. And then like he responds back to me. Never mind. I don't even want to get into the whole thing because it's going to piss me off.
He gets no airtime. Fuck that man.
Point is, yes, I feel like that was most recent time that I like really was like, no, like I deserve better. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like I deserve a better person. I shouldn't allow these kinds of things to be said to me. So, yeah.
I feel like you almost answered both questions a little bit, like what you said no to recently and like how you define sort of self-love.
Because I'm not interested in continuing that relationship. Like I'm done with it. And normally I would have maybe just like, again, like I said before with the boundary thing, like I'm like, oh, maybe taking what he said, like he wasn't trying to offend me or that's not what he meant. I probably would have taken that before and been like, you know what? And just kind of kept moving forward.
Maybe I am a little skinny,
And I am a little skinny right now. Like, okay, I get it. But like, damn, sir.
You are perfect the way you are.
And you didn't bring over any food, so what are we talking about?
Yeah, I'm hungry.
And
that's another thing. No. Going to someone's house for the first time.
I made food that day, really, for me.
You made food in your house, and this man came into your house and told you he didn't like your polish, and you See, I didn't know you were. I thought y'all were a neutral location. He would have definitely been kicked out.
I had to sage.
He would have had to
Palo
go.
Santo.
You should have staged him and kicked him out. That's crazy. Not in your own house. I'm mad.
No, I knew in that moment. I was like, damn, sir. Little do you know, this is the last time you're gonna see me.
Well, go ahead and delete this phone number and address. Jesus.
You had to go. How do you guys? I mean, LB just shared how she maneuvered it, but like, have you ever been in a relationship in which your partner made you insecure about certain things?
Yeah.
What?
I was young though, and so I just sat with the insecurity. Like I didn't do anything about it. I felt it. It came up for me, and like I didn't do anything about it. Like I remember, I can't even say that I thought I was like overweight, because like I've always been on the thin side. But like I dated someone who made it very clear he didn't like overweight people. Like an ex of his had put on a little bit of weight, and he like mentioned it. So like it was always a thing for me. You know what I mean? Yeah. And like, I don't know, like I actually just harbored a lot of resentment towards him for it. So yeah, I mean, that's not the right way.
Did he position it in a way, because that's what this gentleman did. He more so, he was like, positioned it in a way like I didn't mean it about you. I was talking about my preference.
That was another thing.
So did he position it in a way that was like not personal to you, but more like I prefer.
Yeah, I don't remember
type of woman or.
It was a long time ago, but we were in a relationship for 5 years, and so sir, it doesn't matter because like at some point my body's gonna change. Like we were talking marriage and kids, and like you know as a woman you know your body's gonna go through these changes. And I'm like, damn, if you like I'm already insecure about the woman and the body I'm gonna have being like the mother of your children, you know what I mean? Right. Because of some of the things that you said. So yeah, there was just a lot of resentment, I think. And I didn't have a way to deal with it or communicate that then. Yeah.
But I feel like men, when you're getting to know someone, because I wouldn't say you guys were even dating, but like getting to know someone, I don't feel that any person should be expressing preference.
In terms of like a physical
No.
It's something
don't tell me
you
about
can
myself.
preference in food.
We can talk about what we prefer.
Our
dates,
boys
about
that's
it.
something that we're about to enjoy together.
The music choice we're about to put on.
For me to tell you that, like, you show up and I'm like, let that be the last time you wear those sweats. That's crazy.
It was your face, dude. I believe you. That's crazy. Don't put those.
That would be
on,
crazy.
baby.
That would be crazy.
No, I do think as the.
We need to say that more often. Honestly,
that comes with it though, because
my
dad has been wearing the same suits for 25 years to the point where my mom had to start throwing them out when he was like.
Okay, that's different.
Right.
No.
But
they're married. Your mom is entitled to throw his sweatsuits out. This man just walked up into your house, ate your food, and told you that you needed to gain time. That's crazy to me. Yeah, that's crazy.
And he said I was nitpicking. That it was nitpicking that I brought that up. Yeah, no, shit's crazy out here.
Did he
God
need a meal
bless
that
it.
night? Did he need a place to stay? Like, why did he come over? Was he hungry? Like, I'm confused.
No, we were meeting up for like the first time. So it was like, and I don't do that. I typically don't allow people in my space. But at this point, we have been talking, FaceTiming, everything for like 3 or 4 weeks. And I commute back and forth to work every day. So truth be told, at the end of the day, I usually don't feel like going back out of the house. You know, like once I'm home, relax, cook dinner. I want
everyone to come to me.
I would rather you come to my house. Even though I don't love it, I don't really like people knowing where I am because I don't have family and things out there. So I kind of trusted him enough to like allow him into my space. And so for that to happen, I was just like, yeah, no, everything's perfect. But like 10 pounds, beautiful. I'm like...
Crazy. Also, to go to your house for the first time empty-handed is like...
That's crazy.
All right, male tip 101. Like, if you're going to visit a woman for the first time... At least bring a good bottle of wine, maybe a champagne, maybe
flowers.
Like, he did bring weed.
Okay, that's the bare minimum.
He brought the weed that he bought for himself. That was in it. Okay, it was.
She was it for him?
And I had weed anyway, do you like? He didn't ask you how do you prefer to smoke. None of that.
No.
Right.
Yeah. But he
brought his oregano.
DC dirt.
And said,
is that a thing?
Oh no! Don't say that.
He brought his oregano and said,
okay. But. Lindsay just walked in, so it kind of threw me off. That's what because when he got there, he was like, when he first walked in, he was like, well, I didn't know if we were going to order food or what we were going to do. And I was like, so that's in my head. I'm like,
have a plan?
But that's why you planned that. He's like, well, I don't really know. And again, this is me being Saint Mother Teresa Alyssa, being like, I get it, okay? Like, this is our first time meeting up. Maybe you didn't want to do too much. You didn't really know because when I just had cooked already because he didn't come over till like 8 o'clock.
Yeah, so you're hungry.
So I was hungry and I had food, so I made the food. So I just thought, I didn't know, maybe he was pulling up. Do you
ever look back and be like, damn, I got. Like, this man just came to my house and ate my food.
Because I think he would have ordered food. Like, I think if there was no food, he would have ordered it, but... it just so happened that I had cooked, and I felt bad because I had food on the stove. So like, I'm not gonna not offer you my food. And
did he eat it? Did he eat it?
At
oh
first
my God, did he eat it?
At first he said no because he said it looked like I had just had enough for like the next day. So he was like, I didn't want to take your lunch for the next day, and I was like, no, it's fine. Like I have a bunch of food, and I was like, no, please. And he was like, nah, and I'm like, okay. And then I asked him if he ate, and he was like, he has a daughter that was with him, so he was like, I made food for my daughter, but like I didn't eat. And I was like, oh, well,
Starved.
Like... I'm telling you, he's starving. That man needed a meal that night. That's why he came over.
Starved. He came hungry. He came with his oregano and ready to eat. He wanted the munchies.
He was looking for dinner. Jesus.
Didn't even stop at the store for some gum.
No, he thought he was going to get you, sis. He got nothing.
Nah, I say that because I've had a guy who, like, this was back in my Hinge days, and so I haven't been on Hinge in a while.
Can we talk about Lil Hinge?
He's probably the reason. He's one of the main reasons I got off too. But I remember his approach was like, and this was real dumb. I should have known, but he was like, he said something about he was looking for a place to live, and he was
First of all.
Right,
look,
y'all gotta know the mindset I was in. I was like, oh, I was being Saint Samantha at the time. So he's looking for apartments in the city. He's not looking to live at my place, but he's looking to tour buildings. And he said, oh, I've seen your building. I want to tour your building. And my first thought is, we got a building manager. Let me just
we have someone whose job this is.
This is somebody's job to give you a tour of the building, not mine. But then I'm like, all right, no big deal. We're going to hang out in the main areas of the building anyway. Fine. Next thing I know, there's like, obviously we're drinking. The man steals my weed. Like...
What is with this oregano? I'm telling you.
Wait, was this the man that came over with the bag though? Did he have a bag?
You know about this. I remember. This guy was real. So, but at some point he says, I'm like, well, I'm hungry, right? So I'm like, well, because he wasn't supposed to be there. This was a tour. This was supposed to be a building tour. This is 30 minutes.
Welcome to your leasing agent, Samantha.
Hello. I am getting.
Can I get a piece of my rent if I rent this apartment?
So this is supposed to be a 30-minute tour. Next thing I know, like, it's getting late. I'm getting hungry. We've been drinking. I'm like, all right, I want some food. He forgot his wallet at home. I'm like, okay, that's weird. Whatever. Like, I'm hungry though, so I want to eat.
Right.
He was like, oh, you could pull up DoorDash. And I'm not thinking anybody could pull up DoorDash.
So can you say
DoorDash? The man sent me a referral link to DoorDash, like his referral code.
He sent you his referral code to DoorDash?
And I was like, okay.
No.
I'm confused, but I'm hungry. So, and I've been drinking and I've been eating. I've been smoking. So I'm like, all right. And it doesn't.
Oh, no.
It wasn't, listen, it was the next morning I woke up and I said,
the referral code is crazy. I'm sorry.
I woke up and I said, I got got. Like, yo, I got got. This man played the fuck out of me. Like, and he sure did.
He came out, he needed somewhere to sleep for the night and he needed some food to eat. He brought his bag over. Listen, anytime somebody brings an overnight bag. Did I say you could sleep?
That's crazy.
He had an overnight bag with boxers in it. Like, I've never brought an overnight bag on a first date. Like, that was the wildest shit.
That's the Hinge girly stuff. Listen, y'all, your wellness bestie has never been on a dating app, okay? Nope. We're not here.
Listen,
we're not. I
consider
can't.
yourself lucky.
Yeah,
thankfully, because that's crazy. Over to so anyway, success. Out of the matches that you've made on Hinge,
that's a good question.
What would you like? How many success rates?
Zero.
I've met some good people, but we're not dating. Like Maybach is still my friend-ish, whatever. Like, there's a few people that I've connected with. There's Derek, who was going to do our editing initially. I met him on Hinge. We just never linked outside for like years. We were just social media friends. So I have a few people like that I linked with on Hinge that, like, there was nothing romantic, so we just became social media friends and we're friendly. So I will say, like, but I live in a city all by myself where I don't know anyone and it's harder to meet people. So that's why I ended up getting on there. They also have dating apps for, like, friends, like girlfriends. I did that too. We could talk about that. It's also very sad. Stressful.
But I think Hinge, like, for me, it was like, I shouldn't say, like, because everybody I've met on there has been kind. Like, I've had good, I can't say I have any horror stories about, like, something, like, my safety or.
Yeah, the DoorDash guy was a horror story.
Yes. Because I remember that. But I can't say that anybody that I met was like, but it just nothing, like when I first started on Hinge, when I first moved to DC, because it was like still COVID, so not a lot of things were open. You had to have a reservation. You couldn't hang out places. So I went to a lot of dinners and like, it was like, I learned his grandmother's sister's maiden name on the first date. But then like after that, I found it hard to like, we were spilling our souls to each other, like, from the gate, and then it was like, okay, date 2. I literally know everything about you now. So like, it just never really picked up for me in terms of like a dating thing. Yeah. And yeah, it's pretty comical.
Okay. Well, since we're on the dating topic, I have a hot seat question for the both of y'all. That's not in the deck.
I'm sorry.
I was gonna say. Also, when did Jess skip her hot seat question? Because she sure did skip the hot seat question. I really did.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Sam, you want to pull one for me? You're closer. You're real slick today.
Sure.
Oprah. Okay.
She said, ma'ams, I got a lot of questions for y'all. Okay, Jessica.
I got questions. I'm mediating today.
Clearly. I mean, you're doing a good job, but
thanks.
Good luck, because we figured you out.
I like this one.
Oh, every time Sam says she likes them,
and she said,
sorry, I've been smacking the shit out of this mic. Excuse me. What's a flaw I've learned to appreciate about myself over time?
Oh, I answered that was actually the question that I had the first time on
the pod.
Was it? Yes. Love it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well,
I feel like
clearly.
saying no to is, we might have too.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe we didn't ask this one. You'll have to let me know. Keep me honest. When was the last time someone helped me appreciate a part of myself that feels hard for me to love?
Oh, that's a goodie.
When was the last time someone helped me appreciate a part of myself that feels hard for me to love?
This is deep. Why do I always get the hot questions?
Are you sweating?
No, not yet.
Okay. I don't see you glistening yet.
No, not yet. I guess the first thing that will come to mind is that, and I'm going to refer back to my earth angels. I think a part of me that I have struggled to like love about myself is the fact that like I wear my heart on my sleeve. And recently, one of the things that LB had, like I was with Dom during the weekend, Dom and LB. I was really like frustrated because I had a little relapse moment. I had a little
back
relapse
on that phone.
Listen, one thing about being with Alyssa in DC or Dom is like, please just take my phone. Like, please turn it off. Just turn it off.
We need like a phone bin that we just
No,
put
literally, honestly, I feel like I'm at a point where I would really genuinely like to just go out without a phone. Okay. Anyway.
Well, for safety reasons, we can't do that.
But taking it back. And so I had a relapse, and it was throughout after the next day, I was like really upset. I was so frustrated because it was just one of those things where it was so unnecessary, whatever. Unnecessary for me at that moment. But one of the things that my earth angels have reminded me is more so, you're human, Jess. Like, you're allowed to feel certain things, and it's okay for you to like in the moment be like, react and then have to deal with, for every action there's a consequence to it too. And so allowing yourself to kind of go through whatever that motion is going to be, whatever that looks like, and being willing to feel that. And so wearing my heart on my sleeve is just one of those things where like I'm constantly reminded to not change myself, but at the same time I'm getting better, but I know that there's people in this world that are just so easy to like take.
Yeah.
And you can begin to start becoming more rigid with yourself and your feelings if, after how many, stomps do you then choose to do you harden yourself, or do you continue to remain as is, because at the end of the day, it's something special. It's what makes you who you are. And so wear my heart on my sleeve.
Well, that was the thing. And I mean, she was, and rightfully so, like, we're disappointed in yourself when you go back on something that you like stood so hard on, or like something that you like. And she was just like, and I'm like, you're a human, like you are a human being. Like, it is okay to like mess up. It's okay to like backtrack. It's okay. Like, everything is okay. It's just how you pivot, and it's how you move forward from that moment. I mean, we're not always going to be super happy with ourselves. We make mistakes more than once, maybe the same mistake. And I just think it's all about perspective and just how you kind of, you're like, okay, damn, I did that. What am I going to do today?
No, seriously. My dialogue in my head was so bad.
It was.
I literally told Jen, like, Dom went to, okay, that's a bit extreme. But Dom went to go throw something out in the garbage, and I was like, I'm the trash.
Yeah.
So,
that's what I mean. I was like,
throw it on
like,
me.
Please stop, because like you're not. But
that was
she
crazy.
was just like the self-infliction of like. But I was just like, and she was like, it's okay, Alyssa, I'm human. Like, she was making fun of me, but I was like, no.
She was like,
it's annoying to hear in the moment. You don't want to hear that.
No,
like,
but it was okay, and it was actually the first time that not that I've heard something I didn't want to hear, but more so two friends are saying the same thing in parallel in different forms, and I'm like, no, like, you guys are right. Like, I'm not disputing that, but I'm still angry. And so in the midst of it, my deflection is going to be, oh, Alyssa, I'm human. You have feelings too.
No, but honestly, I think we came up with a merch concept, because she was like, we should put that on a shirt, like merch, like, I'm only human.
I'm only human.
Or something like that. But I don't know, certain things I just think we need to humanize ourselves sometimes and like just remind ourselves we're not perfectionists. Like we are not, like, that's why God forgives.
Y'all know I love to talk about my therapist. My therapist has actually shared some of the same things with me. Of like, I'm like, well, if I allow my feelings, if I express my feelings, this is how it's going to come out. It's going to be big. And she's like, so what? I'm like, it upsets people. Like, so what? Like, sometimes you're going to be upset. Sometimes it's going to come out the way it comes out. You know what I mean? But, like, what's the alternative? You could not express that, and you could literally just hold it in for 7 years until you can't hold it in anymore. So, like, you might have some bad reactions. We're not, like, but, yeah, like, we're all human. My therapist is always telling me, like, so what? Let yourself have the reaction. So I'm always trying to guard my reactions and my responses to things. I'm like, how my feelings show up. And she's like,
let it
so
be.
what? Yeah. So what? I'm like, it's going to be big and scary and like loud. She's like, I might yell at somebody. She's like,
No.
So yell at them. Like, you can always apologize after. You know what I mean? Yeah. But, like, you're only hurting yourself in some ways.
No, when what I hear from what you're saying is also, it's just important to kind of, I think in our dynamic, in future connections, and just like relationships and adulting, it's so important for us to just be able to like share how we feel. Mm-hmm. And I think that's one of the things that it's like, we pride ourselves so much. Like, I got so hard on myself because it was my ego. My ego was like, why'd you do that? You know what I mean? Like, but at the end of the day, the human part, my heart, my feelings, it was like, you know, it triggered that. And so I think it's also maneuvering. One thing, you don't have to react on every single thought or feeling. Yeah. And literally, there doesn't have to be an action associated. Something that Dom had said is like, it's okay to wonder, but you don't always need to know.
Yeah.
And I said,
that me too. That was another been catching a lot of curveballs the last couple of weeks, but that was like another one because I never really thought about it that way. Because I am the type that likes to get to the bottom of things. Like, I've driven an hour to catch somebody's car outside somebody's house because you weren't about to tell me you weren't there. You know what I mean? So it's like, but to your like, but there. It's just there's levels. Yeah. Because I'm a new person, but I think that like that's one thing that we want to satisfy that like that wonder. Mm-hmm. Like, what is it? Especially me. Like, I need to know what is it. So that's why I'll go above and beyond sometimes, but it's like to your detriment at times because do you really, now you got this and now you know, but like.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel better?
Right.
Feel
yeah. In that case, I did feel better, but not every time do I feel better.
Yeah.
What do you think as far as like general desire, like folks, when you're yearning for someone who you know is just not even good for you, or like why are we so easily attracted to trauma or pain? And it may not be literally like walking into trauma, but there's some energetically within that connection, there's some kind of like underlying bond, but you know it's not right for you, but you still desire it or you still want to further pursue it. And so one, I guess a two-part question is like, how do you guys, or what would you share with people as far as navigating, we'll say that part?
I think for me, it's been realizing that some of the things that I am attracted to are unhealthy. And also, so like, you can't always control that. And I feel like that's maybe just like the devil, right? What feels safe and comfortable, or like what you know is what's familiar to you is easier than what's unfamiliar to you, and trying new things and being vulnerable, whatever. But I think the other part for me that I'm doing better of now is like, I have these connections with people, but do we have the same values and do we align? Like, because if we don't align, if you don't want a relationship and I do,
there's already a disconnect.
It's already a disconnect. So I just try to make sure at least the things that are super important for me, that we're aligned on that in the beginning. And if there's no alignment, then that's great. You can still be a great person. I can still be attracted to you, blah, blah, blah. But like, as far as, I don't know, I guess it's maybe just putting boundaries around what, like, if I want a situationship with you, that's different. But like it's going to be what it is, like, if we don't align.
So if you know someone's not, already knowing that someone's not right for you, you'll put them under the category in the sense, now you're shifting. I know this person's not right for me. So your reminder to yourself is, does this person's value align with mine? And that is kind of what keeps you away.
Yeah, it's like, is this what you want? Is that the future you want?
Okay.
And that the answer is no. You know what I mean? Like, when you think about the person that you want in your future, do they stack up anywhere? Yeah. Like, they don't. And so when you look at it like that, it's like, well, when you keep your vision and your goal in mind, like,
that's fair.
It's a little bit easier once you know, like, sort of what you want for yourself, I guess.
What about you, LB?
Be fucking for real.
Sorry for that.
But really, I think for me, that's what I tell myself in my head. Be for real. Like listen to your gut. You know what I mean? Like, I truly believe, as all people, not even just women, but I think everybody has a gut. Everybody has an intuition. And it's whether or not you choose to follow that, that's up to you. And I think that when you know someone's not good for you, at a certain point, it becomes a choice. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So because you don't know, people don't show you every sign, every flag. Not everything is going to come up right away, right? So it may be at a certain point in the connection. It could be 6 months to a year in the connection when you really start to see somebody's personality unfold and you're like, you know what? Or the interactions you might have, or you get in your first fight and you see, you know, the real them, or you see how they can go when they're angry, or the things they say. And I think at a certain point, we all kind of know what's good for us and what's not. Mm-hmm. And whether or not we choose to heed that is up to you. So I know for me, for those relationships, I already know 8 times out of 10, I don't want to say automatically, but
pretty early on, right? You kind of know.
The energy, the vibes are...
That's what I'm saying. It's like you kind of put people in different buckets. It's like, well, if this is if I'm just looking for something casual, like, this is great. There's nothing wrong with this. But if I'm looking for something different, so it depends, I guess.
Do you feel like men categorize us, like, as soon 100%. As they meet us?
Yeah.
We had this conversation with her cousin.
Yeah.
Do you remember? You want to share what...
No, kind of general, but
like... Well, I would like you to talk today, so I want you...
Somebody put all 3 cameras on Jessica right now.
Let me tell you something.
No, sure.
Put all 3 cameras on her today. Right.
Okay. Lester Holt. But yeah, do you want to share?
No. I'll jump in.
Okay.
Jump in, yeah.
So you want me to share?
Yes.
Okay. So we were speaking to Jessica's cousin. We were back in Jersey for Easter, and we were talking about men and their expectations and things like that. And he said that he pretty much can tell almost off rip where he's putting a girl, whether it's off the things she says, how she dresses, the way she carries herself, the type of conversations they have, and he'll categorize them like, yeah, she's cool to like hang out with like in the house or go to the movies, but I would never date her. Mm-hmm. And I've heard that from other men before. Yeah. Like they see certain things in women like, that's fine, that's cool, but I would never wife you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking at a lot of dudes like I would never wife you, okay?
Which camera, Sam? Let them know. Which one?
Okay, period.
But like, what do you think, Jess? Like, what do you...
I feel like...
How would you maneuver that type of situation, knowing that something's like not good for you, but you, like, how do you move through that?
I feel like it's just one of the... accepting. A part of maneuvering is having to accept certain things. Like, I recognize that I can really desire someone, but if I also acknowledge to myself, and like you said, that gut feeling says, Jay, this isn't right to move forward with. Yeah. It's also having to accept that my intuition, God is letting me know that this person or this thing is not it. Mm-hmm. And so I think the hardest piece, and one of the things that I'm learning the most, is really having to deal with, you have to accept a lot of things in life, a lot of things that you don't like, but we have a choice of either being able to be led, being protected and led, versus going through the wildfire and just ignoring that and putting yourself in a position in which you know, because you already felt it, is going to lead to something not being healthy for yourself or in general. So accepting.
Okay. Yeah. I think those are all.
That's it, right?
Oh.
I think
great perspectives.
Yeah. How do we feel about like today's episode?
You know, it was great to be back. It was good to see you both. Yeah. I really look forward to these HHG weekends. I was telling LB, like, even while we were at the mall, I'm like shopping, like, I look forward to kind of trying to put a fit or a vibe together. Yeah. It makes me, even though I'm always rushing for it, but I feel good to just kind of get back and to see you both and to kind of a little bit removing from the hot seat in a sense to some degree, like how we initially started. But yeah, I think it was good. What about you guys?
Same. I think it was good to be back. I think that the lights, camera, action just... I love it. And it's really nice to do something like that I just truly enjoy. Yeah. Not that I don't enjoy my job, because I really do. The kids are amazing. But I think that this is like a me thing and a thing to do with my friends. Yeah. So, to be home. And just around the energy that I'm like used to, and I love DC, and I want to live there, but it's also great to come home, see familiar faces, and get that like
nothing
pour
like
back
the
into you.
Nothing like hometown love. So yeah.
What about you?
I'm happy to be here. I'm just happy to be here. Like I said, we barely made it. I'm just happy to be here.
Sam drove an hour and a half from Nashville, then had to turn back around, then turn back around again, and then had to sleep in Cleveland.
If anybody works for an airline, please direct flights from Nashville.
Sponsor.
We're actually looking for an investor.
Please, like, or like a luxury. I just saw like a luxury bus from like, I think there's gonna be
DC to New York.
DC to
New York. There's one from Nashville to Atlanta, and there's supposed to be a luxury train from, I think, even from Nashville to DC soon. So I'm like, this is great, but like, somebody open something like that's not so damn ghetto. Really I hate it.
One of our friends, Jada, she's from Buffalo, but she lives in DC. She works for Target, so they do business in New York, and she did one of those like or maybe she went for another reason. I don't know, Jay. Sorry if I told the story wrong. But anyway, she did the luxury train, and she was like, it was amazing.
See, that's what
the service was amazing. The food, the drinks.
Because I need to be able to work. Like the travel is too long, but like flying, connecting flights. I'm limited with bags. I got one dog. The other, it's a lot. So like, I just need a little bit more convenience. So yeah, I'm just happy to be here.
Love it. All right.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in once again.
Yes, thank you for listening to the 4th episode of the Heal Hot Girl podcast. Like, follow, subscribe. We are on all streaming platforms: Spotify, Apple, iHeart, Google Podcasts, and you can catch us on YouTube.